Hello everyone, welcome to Infra Experts. Today's topic is Cloud Endure Migration. So, what is Cloud Endure Migration and why I have chosen this topic? Cloud Endure provides a unified, simple process to migrate or protect your applications, even databases, from any source into AWS. So, why I'm saying migrate or protect? Migration means it simplifies the migration process. Also, protection in the sense if there's any disaster, then it can easily recover from there. So it facilitates as a disaster recovery also. To be kept in mind, the source in here can be any on-premise environment. Also, it can be any other cloud service provider. Also, it can be cross-region migration across AWS. AWS Application Migration Service is the next generation of cloud endure migration, and this is currently AWS recommended service for lift and shift migration to AWS. But here we will be concentrating on cloud endure. So what are the uses? As I said, its main uses are migration as well as disaster recovery. So it allows rapid, reliable and independent migration with minimal business downtime. We will look into it how we are getting minimal business downtime when we proceed with our practical session. Also how disaster recovery also it's obtained. So what are the features? It provides continuous replication, low cost staging area. What is staging area? We will come to know once we proceed with our architecture, cloud endure architecture. It provides automated machine conversion and orchestration, point in time recovery, easy non-disruptive drills, that also we will come to know as we proceed with our course, wide application and infrastructure support. So it can migrate from any source. It supports wide range of operating system application and database support, which you can see from here. See how many applications, hardware, operating systems and source infrastructures it is supporting. You can go through this, and this is not limited to this only. The list is much more humongous. If you need to know more about what if your applications or databases are supported in there, then you may need to contact AWS and they might provide you the exact result. You can also migrate back due to any issues originating and are forced to go back. Replication is done as continuous block replication. This means none of the data is left behind and everything is moved. The cutover window, as we can see in here, point in time recovery and continuous replication, because of which the cutover window is extremely short since replication happens continuously. It also provides a secure environment with regards to migration, as it uses encryption in transit while replicating the data using AES 256 encryption key. Also, it uses EBS encryption on the target side with encryption at rest. In addition to this, customers can use their own private connectivity such as VPN or direct tunnel data to replicate data privately on top of this encryption. It is highly automated, which means with very minimal skill sets you can operate cloud endure. So you do not need to know everything, means your database, your application to operate cloud endure. This is a unified process to migrate any kind of applications or database as long as the operating system version is supported. The only thing engineer needs to do is to deploy the agent in the source, which will be seen in our practical session. And you can perform non-disruptive tests anytime before cutover. So Before cutover, you can just launch your machine in your AWS, and you can check whether everything is fine with regards to connectivity, with regards to performance and everything. And once everything is fine, you can go ahead with it with your cutover date, and the cutover would be there will be a minimal downtime of around 10 minutes or so because of the continuous replication. Next, this is the cloud endure architecture, where this is the source, this is the staging area, which I said that we'll be covering during our architecture session, and this is the target. So what is the staging area? This uses low cost computing storage which is needed to keep the data in sync with the source, and it consists of replication servers, staging volumes. These are low cost, these replication servers are lightweight EC2 instances. Staging volumes, these are low cost EBS volumes, and snapshots, which are incremental EBS snapshots. The staging area resources scale up or down based on the concurrently replicated machines and disks, which is managed by Cloud Endure. So no maintenance is needed by customers for staging area. Replication servers by default uses T2 small instance type, and one replication server can handle up to 15 concurrently replication disks. And this replication is encrypted with AES, as I said earlier, AES 256 encryption key, and encryption at rest in the target is maintained by EBS encryption. And there are two stages of replication in here. You need to know. One is the initial sync. In this, the Cloud Endure copies the entire existing content of the source disk into the EBS volumes in the staging area. And another one is continuous data replication. So in here, it copies any changes and synchronously copies that to the target staging area. So once the initial sync is complete, then the continuous data replication starts, and it will be continuously replicating. So next is blueprint. So what is blueprint? This is the target machine blueprint, and it is a set of instructions on how to launch your target from your source machine, such as target subnets, instance types, security volumes, volume types, etc. And this lets Cloud Endure know how to orchestrate your target machine. Next is network architecture. Let us go to the diagram. So in here, the Cloud Endure agent on source machine. So we, as I said, that we need to install the Cloud Endure agent on the source machine, right? So this is the Cloud Endure agent in here, and the Cloud Endure agent on the source machine should be able to connect to the Cloud Endure console, and this is done through port 443, which is nothing but HTTPS port, and this connectivity must be in place as long as the data is replicating. And this HTTPS connectivity can be redirected through a web proxy. The Cloud Endure agent sends data to the replicating agent through port 1500, and the connectivity between the staging area and the Cloud Endure console, staging area and the Cloud Endure console, is similar to connectivity between the source machine and the Cloud Endure console. So as you can see in here, for TCP 443 port is used, and web proxy also can be redirected through a web proxy. And in addition to this, when the replication server spin up, it must be able to access the S3 for downloading softwares and configuration files. It also issues an API call to take snapshots of EBS volumes. So connectivity to EC2 API endpoint on port 443 must also be in place. So this is the architecture of your cloud Endure. Some things you need to remember in here is that, first of all, let us go ahead with our steps. So in the steps for cloud Endure migration, we have, first of all, we need to do the assessment, where we need to identify the machines, networking, instance right sizing. Then we need to install the agents on the source machine, and this after which the replication begins into lightweight staging area. Okay, and once the replication begins, at that time also, at that instance also, you can configure your blueprint, and which can be updated anytime without replication disruption. One more thing you need to remember, that after you have launched your target machine, if you are making changes in the blueprint, that won't be reflecting to the target machine which you have launched before making changes to the blueprint. So once changes in the blueprint has been made, you need to launch your target machine again. Test target machine. So you can launch the target machines in non-disruptive tests, and then comes the cutover, where the test target machine are automatically terminated. So means at first you are launching the test target machine, and once everything is fine with that, with your initial test and all, and you are ready for the cutover, once you go ahead with your cutover date, at that time your test target machine will be automatically dropped, terminated, after which your target machines will be deployed for the final cutover, and your machines are automatically converted to run natively in AWS. But in here, one thing you might need to check, that whether your EBS volumes are also deleted or not along with your target machines. Some more things, you can go ahead and practice your cloud Endure in your AWS free tier, but it will be charging you, and there is a 90 days of free replication provided with each license. So you can go ahead with that same. And this cloud Endure is a SaaS solution. So let us go ahead and proceed with our practical setup. So here we are in our cloud Endure console. You need to register and you need to log in here. Before proceeding, first of all, let us create a user in here. So let me go to IAM. So why I'm creating the user, that user's access key and secret access key needs to be given, and it needs to be attached with the cloud Endure policy. So let me create a policy first. So this is the policy. This is a JSON script actually, which needs to be provided, and let me create the policy. Let me give the name as Cloud Endure new, because I am having some Cloud Endure policy already created. So this got created. Now let me create a user named infra. Give it programmatic access. Attach existing policies. In here, let me give the Cloud Endure new, right? So this is created. I need to take the access key. First of all, here, from here you will get what all projects are there from this drop down menu. Means the existing projects. If you need to create a new project, go in here, give the name as Cloud Endure or whatever name you want, and let me give the access key in here. Let me give the secret access key in here. So in here I need to give this as other infrastructure, since I'm migrating from my local machine to AWS. If you are migrating from, if it's a cross level migration, then you need to give the region, or other infrastructure needs to be given if you are migrating from any other cloud to AWS. The disaster recovery target, I am giving it as Mumbai. I'm keeping these everything as default and just saving the replication settings. Now what I need to do is, this is my agent installation token, and it is guiding us what we need to do for installing the Cloud Endure agent in Linux and also for Windows. Since I'm using a Linux system, first of all I need to download it from here, and let me just, and I downloaded it. Now what I need to do, I need to install it, right? Run the installer to install this agent. Let me go ahead with root, because that would be the better way to copy everything, or else there will be some permission issues, right? Now let me copy this and install the agent. So it is running the agent installer. It will be trying to connect to the Cloud Endure console, which is already done. It will then download the Cloud Endure software, agent software, and then it will be installing it. It has checked what all disks are there to replicate. So I'll pause the video until this replication is done. I was having some issue in installing the software. I was getting this error. I checked the logs and saw that the kernel needs to be updated. So after updating the kernel, the installation is successful. And now I can see that the test.infraexperts.com is already active. And if you click in here, you can see that the initial sync in progress is started. And right now it is 0.00% and it will take a long time for it to complete. So I will pause the video as of now. When the progress starts, I will resume it and I will let you know what all steps it is progressing with. So you can see in here that the replication initial sync in progress is still going on. So I will be pausing the video until the sync is complete. So the initial data sync, it is 100%. So right now it is finalizing the initial sync. So we are done with the initial testing. So now you can see in here we have the dashboard where replication stalled. If any replications have been stalled due to some error or something, will be showing. This one shows that some attention is required. In here we have the machine, and you can see here this is the attention which is asking for not tested recently. And in here this icon means the target can be launched, and this one is purple when a target has been launched by the machine, and this one if any error is coming. That's what replication is stalled. Recovery plans, we do not have anything. Job progress will be shown once we start the machine. Event log, till now what all things we did. This is a setup info which already we discussed on. Now you can see here the disaster recovery lifecycle is ready for testing, and the data replication progress is continuous data replication. So let me first launch this machine. So how to launch it? Let's go in here. This is test mode. So first of all, as I said, let me go ahead with the test mode and choose the recovery point. I'm taking the latest one because right now only it got updated. Now where can we see this? We can see in here job progress. See, you can see type launch test pending. So job started waiting for latest snapshot, and it will proceed with the update. You can see it finished waiting for the latest snapshot. then it started machine conversion. So right now the machine is getting launched. Where can we see it? You can see it from our EC2 console. So let me go in here. It is still working. See, right now it launched a machine, but this instance type might change. So we need to wait until the job is complete. So I'll pause the video until this is completed. So you can see that it finished machine conversions. It is creating a replica for security group, which also it completed. So one by one phase it is carrying on with the operations. So it is right now creating a replica for instance this, which is my source system. As I said, this instance has been terminated right now, and it will be installing another instance with the instance type being different. See, that's why this one failed. So it is trying M5X large instead. Let me, so this is the EC2. Let me see whether it is right now pingable or not. Yes, it is pingable, and you can see in here. So it will take some time because it is running the checks. So currently I'm able to log in. Let me just change the settings. So let me see. You can see in here, this needs to be omitted. 37 GB of U01 is there. So these are perfectly the same. Now in here I have database, running. Sorry, I do not have that running. Let me just open one more console. Here also, let me first show you. See, the IP is different. And in here, I do have this, and I need to start the database. See, this is not available right now. Why it is not available? Because I created the database with create database command. So what I will do one thing right now, I will run the cat prog and pub scripts, after which we'll see whether this is available during my cutover or not. So these are some of the scripts: catalog, catprog, and pub build, which needs to be run. So let me run this in here. And in here also you can see that the continuous data protection is still on, and it is still replicating, and the flag is right now, it is grayed out since we have tested it. That's why the disaster recovery lifecycle is shown as tested recently. Now once this is done, I'll be running the other scripts, which are these. So I'll pause the video until these all are run. So the scripts have been run. Let me see now. So it is showing. And in here, still I'll be facing the same issue, right? Now, let me do one more thing. Create user infra identify by infra. So I am creating this user. Okay. Then means I can do many more things, but just to show you, I'm just creating the user, a user which was previously not present. Let me go to u01 directory and place a file over here also. Touch infra.txt, touch text.ttp, whatever. So I'm having these two files which is not present in here right now. You can see if I go to u01, it is not present. Now what needs to be done? This is in continuous data protection mode, and I have tested that everything is fine. You can test from your SQL developer also whether the connections are there or not. Now I need to launch the machine. See, if you click, just put your arrow in here, you can see not ready means what, ready for testing means what, tested recently means what, not tested recently, and failed over means what. So right now what we are going to do, we are going to fail over. So I am starting it in recovery mode. I didn't take it. So what will happen if you have gone through my, first of all let me see which one should I take. Let me take the latest one. Means you can see here at 10 minutes interval a snapshot, a recovery point is created. So but I'm taking the latest one. So continue with launch. Now what will happen? If you have gone through my theoretical session, you will be seeing that this machine, it will be dropped first. You can see from the job progress also how to check. You will be amazed that it is finished. No, it is not. You need to take from the drop down menu and take this launch recovery. So it is started and it is waiting for the latest snapshot. It will get the snapshot, then it will ask, what it will do, it will be dropping this EC2 instance first. Then it will go ahead with the other process. So right now we need to wait until the steps are performed again. So this is the cutover part we are working on right now. So right now the cutover is taking place. You can see the timing, it started at 10:31 p.m. Here you can see how much time it took. 9:19 the job started and it ended at 9:33. So near about 22 minutes it took for the test launch. So let us now see how much time it is taking for the recovery launch, means during the cutover. See, as I said, after taking the latest snapshot, it is starting cleaning up of instance with ID this. So it's ending with 8506. You can see in here 8506. So this one will be cleaned. Let me refresh it. See, it is shutting down. My connections will also be going. See, it went. So we need to wait until the cleanup is done and the new machine is launched. So you can see here cleanup of subnet, internet gateway, security group, VPC, everything is done. Now it's starting the actual process for the cutover. So machine conversion will be started. Once it is done, then it will be creating all the VPC security group in internet gateway and all, and it will be launching the instance. I will pause the video until these are completed. So you can see from here that the disaster recovery cycle is failed over and the target is launched, and the last recovery launch is this. So let me log into the system. Let me now I need to start the database because the database won't be getting up, right? So now let me start the database first. So this is starting the database. So previously those catalog, catproc, those were not installed, because of which DBA users dictionary view was not visible. Right now it should be, right? So you can see this is visible, and this was the user which we created. Now let me go to U01. You can see these files are also there. So this marks the end of our today's session, where we saw. Let me do one more thing. Now since this is done, next what we need to do? We need to remove the machine from this console. Since this is done, and if we need to delete the target machine, we need to do this. So this marks us end of our today's session, where we had a brief discussion on what is Cloud Endure, and the practical session also was done accordingly. Hope you have liked the session. Please do comment, like, share and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Take care.